Welcome, everybody. It's Tanya here of Get Noticed with Video at getnoticedwithvideo.com, and I want to welcome you to our weekly live stream show. So, I love this period of time. I love coming in on Thursdays and just sharing something with you, especially when I get a question. And I have a question of the week that we're going to be featuring an answer to this evening. So let me make sure that I pull that question up. We're going to talk a little bit about it, and I will also share some really cool tips and tools that I use in response to the question that was asked. So this particular question happens to be one of my favorite questions of all time. It has to do with 3 easy ways to create 60-second videos. So let me read the actual question from Marie. And Marie, to get our very special journaling kit that I've put together for video. I make a lot of notes with this thing myself. So there's a pen, there's a journal, and there's a couple of other little goodies that are going to be in the bag that I'm sending her way for asking the question of the week. The question of the week is when we feature someone's question and basically respond to it in our live stream show. So my entire show is going to be dedicated to you, Marie Zimenoff of Career Thought Leaders, because we're going to talk a little bit about how to create these 60-second or shorter videos. So let's do a little bit of acknowledgement here and make sure that I get to say hello to everybody. First of all, I want to make sure that we're up and running live because it looks like we are not connecting. We are connecting. Good. Okay, awesome. All right, so a couple of things that I want to do with you. Some of you are actually watching on YouTube. Some of you are watching on Twitter. Some are watching on Facebook, on various pages within my Facebook space. Wherever you are, feel free to comment and let me know where you're watching from. I love to read in the comments where you're from. And also just say hello, because I want to say hello back to you. Now, if you're in our brand new to our community in the Video VIPs group, put hashtag newbie, because I want to respond and definitely acknowledge you and welcome you to the group. So hashtag newbie if this is your first time ever watching the show, or if you are in our group and you're a newbie in the group, type in hashtag newbie. Now, for those of you who have been here for a minute and you've been watching and hanging out with us, I want you to type in hashtag OG, right? So OG if you've been here for a little bit. All right, and the other thing I'm going to do is I will pop this up just in case you are interested in connecting to our community. We have a fabulous, incredible community where we hang out and basically talk shop around video marketing, share strategies and tips and tools and resources, and just learn from each other and support each other to be more confident on camera. Because the focus of my business of Get Noticed with Video is really to help you to learn how to leverage more on-camera content. And most of the time I'm talking to women who are coaches, consultants, and course creators. But every now and then I have, some men and some folks that are from other fields. So if this information is helpful to you, definitely make sure you like and subscribe so that you can always be notified when we go live. Right now, we're going live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're usually on for about 20 to 30 minutes. That's our goal. Sometimes we go a little longer depending on your questions. So let's do this. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to remind you again, feel free to say hello in the chat because I can see your chats. At least usually I can. Right now, for some reason, there's a little bit of a delay. But just know that I acknowledge you, and I'm super excited and thrilled that you are here and that you're watching. Because I'm live, if you do have questions as we go, please do not hesitate to ask the questions because I want to acknowledge you while I'm here and while we're present together. But if you happen to be watching the replay, just type in hashtag replay because it helps me to go back and scan and see that you've made a comment. Awesome sauce. So I see a couple of folks that are here. If I cannot acknowledge your name or face, it's only because I haven't gotten permission through Restream to be able to see your face. But know that I am personally acknowledging you back. So thank you so much for showing up. All right, let's dive into the topic because I have a few things that I want to share with you about this whole idea of creating a 60-second or shorter video. And I want to share a few tools that I think will be useful for you. So depending on who shows up a little later on, and if you have additional questions, we may run a little bit longer, or we may end right on time at about 30 minutes in. So here's the first thing I'm going to do. I want to talk a little bit about why. Why is it that we even care about doing 60-second or shorter videos? What's the purpose? Why does it even matter? So Marie, if you're in and you're watching, I want you to definitely share any thoughts that you might have or comments, because in your question, I remember that you also mentioned there's a whole lot of folks in your community who are trying to figure this thing out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight 3 specific things that I want you to think about, because my gift is the gift of strategy. So it's what's going on behind the scenes, not just so much how do you create a new video, but what are you thinking through in order to get to the place where you want to be, to get the results that you want. So if you want to create 60-second or shorter videos and video clips, there are a couple of different reasons why you might want to do that. I'm checking the comments real quick here. So if you would mind, what are the steps to invite a guest into Restream? Oh, awesome. So at this time, I'm not going to invite people on stage into Restream, but there is a special link that you actually are assigned. So when you, and I'm going to pop this up here so that people can see what I'm answering. When you are watching when you're hosting a Restream video, in the back end of your dashboard, there's going to be a link that's assigned to you. Now, this is a little different than with StreamYard. So I'm testing out Restream in the month of March. I've been a StreamYard fan forever. And I will tell you that with StreamYard, there are unique links that are assigned each and every time you get ready to bring people in. With Restream, you get a single link that you can then just repeatedly use over and over again. You can ask them to change it if you need to change it, or refresh and resync to a new one, but you literally can create your own short link, right? So I have one that is an on-stage link that I use when I'm bringing in guests. All right, now back on topic. What we're talking about is how to actually take videos and create more 60-second or less clips. And I'll say clips, but I'll also just say full videos, right? Because there's some method to my madness when I talk about this. Let's do a couple of things. I'm going to pull up, I'm going to share my screen, but first, how about we do this? I'm going to walk you through the 3 questions, and then I'll share my screen and share the demo. When you are creating these 60-second, 30-second, 5-second, any of those type of shorter second type videos, usually the reason why you're doing that is because you're trying to leverage a specific type of platform, right? Or you may be creating a teaser, or you may be creating, a short ad. There are any number of reasons why you might want shorter snack-sized videos. So think about it. Just about every social platform out there right now has snack-sized stories, right? You're talking Instagram has stories, YouTube has shorts, Twitter has fleets. Everybody's got some type of short form video platform now, even though before it was much longer, or you had, and they still have the longer video space, right? But what they're recognizing and really kind of capitalizing on is something that I taught like 3-4 years ago. I used to teach something called snack size marketing. And the premise behind that whole idea is that anytime you're creating media, and especially in this moment, you have to recognize that most viewers and most people in the audience, in our consumer audience nowadays, they're super busy, and their attention span is definitely, we're competing for attention, right? So their attention span is short. And some used to liken it to, it's shorter than the attention span of a goldfish, right? I used to use that analogy whenever I would go out and speak about this, about snack size marketing. So the idea is that what you want to do is really consider, how can you, in your marketing efforts, in your business, if you're using video, how can you best leverage these short form platforms so that you don't miss out on the visibility in those spaces, especially because a lot of people, even now in Instagram, tend to go first to the stories and they may not even go through the feed anymore. And this migration started a few years ago. So right now, especially in this age where people are at home and they're consuming a lot of content and information, you want to be able to capitalize on every possible media format that you can within the space that you've chosen to operate. For me, video is the thing, right? And for you, maybe you're thinking about adding video to your arsenal, or maybe it is going to be the thing for you. If you do, you want to think about, how can I create the really short micro content or snack size videos that we're talking about? How can I create a little bit longer, lengthier content, like 10-minute or 30-minute videos? And then how can I create some longer videos, whether those are for training or webinars or other purposes? Because if you have that diversity in your bank, in your library, the more likely you are going to be able to have options to be seen in different platforms, right? So you want to mix it up a bit. So in answer to the question as to why on earth would we even care? Those are some of the reasons why it matters, okay? So let's talk about 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. And then I'm going to definitely give you some ideas. And Marie, again, this is dedicated to you because you asked the question. So let's go it this way. So here's question number 1 that you want to ask yourself from a strategic standpoint. If you're going to be creating 60-second or less clips, or videos rather, I'll keep saying videos because there's a reason why I want to make a differentiator here. If you're going to be creating 60-second or less videos, what platform are you going to use? You really want to know if you're going to be using, for instance, Instagram. Are you going to use Twitter? Are you going to use some other space that's in your social media area? And the reason why you want to know exactly where you're going to be using this 60-second or less content is because that's going to determine whether or not it can be 60 seconds, or does it need to be 30 seconds or 15 seconds? Because if you think about it, Instagram Reels, if that's a space that you're trying to create video clips for, it only comes in increments of 15 and 30 seconds right now. So 60 seconds would be too long. You'd have to cut it up. So you have to know exactly what your platform is that you want to use, and think about that first. That's going to determine what your length will be for the video that you're creating. Again, I'm going to go through all 3 questions. If you have questions as we go, feel free to go ahead and put those into the comments. And make sure, if you're not liking and following already, that you do so, because I want to make sure to bring you back so we can talk more strategy. All right, number 2. What design tool will you use? And this is what I'm going to give you a quick little, some really high-level demos for, because I want to share with you a couple of tools that I use to create these snack size 60-second or less videos, okay? So you want to be thinking about, what do you have in your arsenal right now? What is it that you already have that you can use? The reason why I always say this, and for those of you who are hashtag OGs, right? If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I'm always a stickler for saying, what do you already have? Have you already invested in certain types of software or apps, right? Do you have tools at your disposal, or are you getting ready to go and invest in something else and do a subscription for no good reason? So think about what you have right now. If you're using Canva, you can certainly use a Canva. If you have Wave Video from one of the specials that we did not too long ago, where they had this amazing discount, and if you missed it, I'm so sorry, I hate it, but Wave Video is one of the tools that I'm going to share with you in just a second. And then Vimeo Create, or something else. My something else is my number 1 tool for creating these short videos. So number 1 was, what platform are you planning to use? Because you want to think about, is it going to be Instagram? Is it going to be in Instagram? Is it going to be Reels? Is it going to be Stories? Is it going to be the feed? What am I trying to do in order to create the 60-second or less video, right? The second question was, what design tool do you plan to use? Now, the third and final question, and then we'll go ahead and do our quick demo. I'll share my screen in a second. The third question is, what method do you want to use to create the content? So what's your method for content creation? Now, here's where I was getting into the whole idea or the thought about calling it a clip versus calling it a video. Because you can do one of two things. You can literally start with a short video in mind. Like you could literally go ahead and just create from scratch, from start to finish, a 30-second video. Or you could have a 30-minute live stream like what I'm doing, and that converts into multiple 30-second clips or 60-second clips or 10-minute clips. So you have options. Light bulb? If that's a light bulb moment, I want you to definitely give me a like in the comments or do a like on this video because I want to hear from you and to know if this is really clicking. These are some ideas for you to really be thinking through. Now, next, I want to go ahead and do a quick demo for you and make sure I showcase a couple of ways to go about doing this. But let's run through these questions one more time. So the first one was, what platform do you want to use? Now, if you already know what platform you're planning to use, if you're using Reels or you're using Fleet or whatever you may be using for videos, I want you to go ahead and put that in the comments too, because I'm curious to see how many of you are using the different platforms, right? Is there one that's more popular than others? I'm just now starting to do Reels. I literally just did my first real reel this week. And it was scary. And no, I did not do any dancing. I can't bring myself to do that. But I did drop a little bit of knowledge in a 30-second clip. So we'll see how that goes. My goal right now is to start learning how to I'm teaching myself, training myself on how to be more consistent and disciplined in doing those. All right. The design tool we talked about. And then the third question again was, what method do you want to use? So do you want to go about starting with the short? Are you going to start with, hey, I'm writing a script for a 30-second or 60-second video right now? You could do that. Or do you want to create clips from existing content or content that you're creating that's much longer, like a 1-hour webinar could be turned into various clips, and you can pull those clips into as teasers. If anybody goes to Sam's Club, you know how, I don't know if they do it right now because it's been a while since I've been to one with COVID and all, right? But remember how they have those little plates with the snacks and you always get tempted like, I don't want to go get it, but it looks so good. Let me try it. And then you think, okay, I want the whole bag, and you go and you buy the whole bag because of the teaser. That's exactly what you're doing with this type of micro content or snack size content. If you're taking the longer video and you're breaking it down into clips, you're giving out teaser bites, right? Which then are pointing people back in the direction of the larger, longer video. So another idea moment for you. All right, let's pull up our demo because I want to showcase for you a couple of different things. I made a quick 30-second clip using Wave Video. So I'm going to show you just real high level how I did this so that you can see how simple it can be. And I know this was part of the question that was asked by Marie, so I want to make sure to share not just, hey, this is what you do, but here's a little bit of how to do it, okay? All right, let's do this. So I'm going to pull up Wave Video, and Wave is one of the many tools that I love to use for video design. What I love about this in particular is that when you get into Wave, it already has, or they already have templates that are created for you. So if you go to templates, and I've shown this a couple of times over the past few weeks, because it's just so versatile. If you go over here on the left, you'll see that they have different already pre-sized what they call aspect ratios, okay? So for instance, if you want to create a square video, you can do that. If you're creating a story, then you may want to create either a vertical or you want to do a story in IGTV size, the 9:16 size, okay? This is typically what I'm doing when I do verticals, is the story size of 9:16. So the really cool thing is that they already have some pre-made templates in here. But we're not going to use that for the purpose of what I'm talking about. What I did is I kind of created my own. I just made a square video using my phone, and I'm going to show you, let's see if I can show you my video. I did this morning for you because I really wanted to kind of show you how this works and to make sure that you knew that it was possible. So I recorded a 30-second video on my phone. Then what I did is I uploaded from my phone into the Wave Video app. So I just went into my Chrome browser on my iPhone, pulled in my square video from my phone, and then created this, if I can get to it. There we go. So this one right here on the left. Let me try to blow that up a little bit more so you can really see it. Let's see, we'll maximize this one. So notice here, so this is in story format. All I did is created this square video on my phone, and then I used Wave to add stickers and to add some of the really cool stuff, right? This one is an 18-second video, and it is a full video, meaning that I literally started from scratch. Like I started creating this. Let's see if we can do this real quick. I started creating this script this morning, just wrote it out real quick and then recorded it in full. So it's not that it is a converted piece of content from another larger form. It's a standalone piece of content where I just gave a tip saying you don't need a fancy background. So this was my Reels number 2, y'all. I added my logo to it. I added a little music to it inside of Wave, although you can do that in Reels. And then I just had that uploaded into my Reels. So I went in, just like I shared with you, using those 3 questions. What platform is it that I want to use? And I decided I wanted to use Reels, so I knew I had a maximum of 30 seconds. What design tool did you want to use? In this case, I decided to use Wave Video because it was a standalone video that I designed. And then what method for content creation? Well, that's what I just said. It was a standalone. It was just a short video, not that it was a clip. So think about the beauty of this. If you're trying to create a promotion, like a quick ad or a social media post that you just want to go out and about that's sharing a quote or a tip or something else, right? So that is tip number 1, or demo number 1 rather, that I wanted to share with you. You literally can create these inside of Canva, Wave, any number. In Video is another one that I use, but there's a lot of different apps that you can use and you'll be fine. It does take a little bit of getting used to if you haven't already been creating videos, but once you get the hang of it and you're using a tool that you're somewhat familiar with and you continue to do it more, it'll be easier. So that's one way. Now, the second way is a little bit more complex, and I'm going to share with you, but it is my favorite tool right now when it comes to creating clips. So let me explain a little bit about this first, because I want to make sure you understand what I'm about to share. There's a tool called Repurpose. Repurpose is a tool that is specifically designed to pull from a larger video. Excuse me, allergies. Pull from a larger video or audio, a lot of different formats that you can pull from, and then it converts into the smaller clips. The reason why this is relevant is because it can save you a considerable amount of time if you're trying to create multiple snack-sized clips from a longer video. I do this on a fairly regular basis, so much so that my team member and I have been talking about how do we go ahead and monetize this and turn this into agency work, because some of you, as I've been creating these videos over the last year or so, were like, okay, you're telling me how to do it, that's great, but why can't you just do it for me? So I'm looking at answering that call for you. So just know that. But for those of you who are do-it-yourselfers and you want to learn this on your own and do it for yourself, Repurpose is an excellent tool. Repurpose is by Hani Mura, who is an amazing, incredible guy. Just a nice, he is a sweetheart. And he had a vision of creating this tool. And there's a couple of other ones that I use too. Simple Social Press is one that he's created. But I love this app for making my life easier when it comes to content. So let me show you a little bit of a demo about how this works, because I think you're going to be impressed. And if you do have questions, make sure you put those here because we're almost about to wrap. Lindsay, good to see you, lady. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, and I see a couple of other things here in the chat too. Yes. Okay, so I think I'm about to answer your question. Can you talk a little bit about how to take a Facebook Live and turn it into clips? How do you export and what tool do you use? Ta-da! I'm actually going through that right now for you. So I hope this is helpful. Awesome sauce. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share with you the Repurpose app. I'm not going to walk through my entire process on how I do this because that takes a bit longer than our show. But I will tell you that I have a boot camp called the Repurpose Your Live Video Boot Camp that I did last year. That's all we did. We spent half a day creating shorter videos using different tools, right? So I'm thinking about doing that, but I also have incorporated this teaching, what I'm doing right now for myself. I've incorporated that into a brand new group coaching program that will be opening at the beginning of May. I haven't even released anything on that yet, but it's coming. So awesome. I'm so glad. Yay, Sherry. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so let me show you. I'm going to pull up the actual demo or the app so that you can see this. If I can get it to move. Come on, move for me. Here it comes. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you right now. We'll move that at the top. The Repurpose app. Now, I have just what we call 3 workflows, right? But high level, I'm going to tell you what this does. What I've set up are 3 workflows, and notice that all of mine currently say 30-second clip, 30-second clip vertical, 30-second clip. The difference is that these first 2 are for Facebook Live. So what I'm doing is whenever I go live, if I do a Facebook Live, good to see you, Michelle. If I do a Facebook Live, what I use Repurpose to do is to literally take my Facebook Live and break it up into 30-second clips. The first one, this one is a workflow where it's breaking it up into 30-second clips that are of a square size. The second one is for vertical. And that way, because it's vertical, I can use these in stories. The third way is brand spanking new. And this is one thing I wanted to share with all of you, especially the folks that are in my group, my community, is that Hanny just this week, hot off the press, just reconfigured the whole back end of Repurpose. And there's now the capability of being able to take your YouTube and convert that into smaller clips. So that is awesome. Before, it was only Facebook Lives. Now you can do this with YouTube as well, which I'm really excited about because I'm starting to go and be more intentional about building my YouTube presence. So think about that. When you do a YouTube or a Facebook Live, you can easily use an app like Repurpose and clip that down automatically. Like there's a button here that says auto. I keep mine on manual because I want mine to go into Google Drive, but you can literally schedule each and every one of these clips to go to various social media platforms for you on a schedule. Like they can go to your LinkedIn and just post. And you don't have to use a different or another social media scheduler. Mind blown, right? There's so much that you can do in here. So let me just show you one more piece of this particular app so that I can make sure I'm giving it the full, full once over, and you can really take a look and see if this might be for you. What I also do is I'm going to pop up my actual affiliate link because I trust and believe in this guy, and I think that this app is going to just continue to grow and to do better. I do great things with it right now in my mind. I'm going to be doing great things for other people with it, but you too can use this app, you and your team, to create some amazing content too. So let me show you something I just started doing right before we came on live so that I could show you kind of the back end. So what this has done is I've pulled in my YouTube Let me pull it up really big because I want you to see this, and I'm going to move my repurpose clip out of the way. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm showing you that it is pulled in my playlist for 2021. So because I go live every week, it's pulled in that playlist for me. So all I literally have to do is to tell it at what point do I want the timestamps to start. So I've given it these 5 specific timestamps for this episode number 1. The reason why I'm doing that is because I wanted to clearly give people a very specific set of a portion of my video that makes sense. Like, I don't want them to randomly just cut in while I'm talking and, saying, hey, how's it going, girl? Instead of getting something that's relevant to people when they watch the social media clip. So I started at a point where I'm getting ready to talk about a specific topic, and then I let it run for the 30 seconds. Using something like this automation makes it easier for you to be able to do that. So I know I kept it real high level and I gave you kind of a little preview of what it looks like, but there's so much more that we could talk about, and it would take way longer than a 30-minute live stream show. So if you do have questions, feel free to put those in the comments, and I will definitely look for those questions to make sure that I respond to those for you. Otherwise, I'm going to quickly recap what we've talked about tonight. So as I mentioned already, the question was about, let me read it again. The specific question was, how do you keep your videos to 60 seconds? How do short videos work? Like, what's the best strategies for creating those? How do you make them? So I hope I've been able to give you some ideas. Again, the first question you're going to ask from a content strategy standpoint is, what platform do you want to use so that you know the time limit that you have? Okay. And we've talked about different spaces that you might want to use these in. The second question was, what design tool are you going to use? How are you going to design this? Are you simply just going to do a 30-second or a 60-second video from your phone? And if you are, the format and the way in which you create that, by the way, is just like if you were creating a 30-minute or 1 hour. What's your opening? What's the main content? And what's the close? So you may not have enough time in 30 seconds or 15 seconds to do a lengthy version of that. You're not going to have enough time. But can you touch on a single point? If you've written a blog post about 10 tips to doing whatever, right? 10 ways to lose weight in 2020, lose your COVID weight in 2021. Why not create a 15-second video that speaks to each one of those tips and just focuses on one tip at a time? This is just an idea, but get creative because you can do it. It is possible, and people are doing it every day. Just scroll through your phone. All right. And then the third and final question was, what method for content creation? Are you creating a short, like we were just talking about, or are you taking a larger, longer piece of content, which is my typical MO, because I'm a fan of repurposing and getting the maximum benefit out of everything I do. So are you creating a longer video and then converting that into smaller clips? I hope this has been helpful for you. If you do have questions, feel free to put those in the comments. Let me check and see before we go. This is great information. I did see that from Sherry. Love it. Awesome. Victoria said, oh, so much going on, but here I am. We'll replay. Awesome. And then Michelle, again, let me acknowledge you here as well. I always love to see you, to see your bright and smiling face in the little bubble. All right, folks, that's all I have for you. The one thing that I will share in terms of announcements is that for those of you who are in the VIP community, and here's what I'm going to do too. Let me do 2 things. One, I want to make sure to put back up the Repurpose tool in case you're looking for that. Just find it at tanya.click/repurposeio. Okay. But secondly, for those of you who are in the video VIPs, Video Marketers in Progress community, tomorrow we will host our VIP office hours. It's an exclusive video, a live video chat that we do within the group. And for those that are going to be able to come on stage, if you want to come on stage and ask a question there, you'll have an opportunity to do that. I was planning to go live at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 noon Eastern, but I've got to move that back by 30 minutes because I have someone I need to meet. So it will be 11:30 a.m. Central and 12:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll make sure to post that in the group. All right. If you are loving what you learned tonight and you want to come back and you don't want to miss an alert, make sure you go ahead and subscribe right now. Use the bell. Subscribe to the channel so you get notifications each and every week when we go live. My name is Tanya Smith, and this is Get Noticed with Video. It's been my pleasure to share some additional tips this week with you about how to leverage video content for your business so that you can be on camera and create amazing conversations with your dream clients. All right, we will see you next time. For those of you in the community, I'll see you tomorrow.